Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nurse Hack for Health. My name is Hiam Nadel, and I'm a founding member of SONCL and the director with the Center for Innovations in Care Delivery at Mass General Hospital. Before we begin, I want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Johnson & Johnson, SONCL, Microsoft, and DevUp, because without their support, this event would not be possible. Before we dive into pitching, I would like to go over the hackathon activities and timeline overview. So Friday night after the kickoff events, you will have the opportunity to pitch your problem. Once you do that, there will be others in the audience that will join you to form a team. Throughout the weekend, you'll be able to hack for solutions with constant assistance and feedback from the coaches and mentors that we will have on site. Saturday, you have the opportunity from 6 to 8 to practice your presentation. Although this is not mandatory, we highly recommend that you do so because you will get enormous feedback from the pitch coaches. Then you'll be able to work on your presentation to make it more successful. And then for the final pitches for Sunday at 12 p.m. So you will have 3 minutes to present your presentation and solution. And many people will say, there is no way that we can do this in 3 minutes. But I am here to tell you and assure you that it is very possible. Pitches can come in many different formats. They can also vary in time, and they can also vary in the audience that you give it to. But I like to work within a framework. And this was presented by Professor Debbie Kleiman from Babson College. It would really behoove you to buy this book. I think it's wonderful. And she talks about the 4H framework: headline, heart, head, and hope. But before we get into the 4H framework, I really want to talk about storytelling. Storytelling is a real powerful tool. People love stories, and they actually will remember you with a good story, and that's what you want. The storytelling allows us to talk with people rather than just to them. And it allows us to feel and create connections. People not only understand your idea, but they need to feel it. The story should thread through your entire presentation and have a good beginning, middle, and end. And at the close, wrap up your story. So you want to set it up, you want to talk about the struggle, and then your solution. So the first H is headline. This will introduce your product or service idea by giving it a name or a tagline. This is your first and best opportunity to set up the context of the solution you're about to introduce. Some examples that have come from other hackathons are Lumify Nightlight, Wellness You Can Wear, and Wellnurse. And it really does give you some insight as to the solution that will be discussed. The second H is heart. Make me feel something. You first start with your problem articulation. So describe the problem that you're about to solve. Tell us how you got here. Bring the audience right into the story. Tell us what happened with the patient, maybe with family members and others. Don't assume you know anything, even if we are all nurses. If you're coming up with a solution from the operating room, I might be an ICU nurse and don't have a clue about the OR. So walk us through step by step. So what causes this pain? Who feels this pain point? Engage and draw the audience in to make them feel like they're solving the problem with you. The next best thing is, how big is this problem or market? As an example, if I'm addressing hospital falls, I know that it will cause the hospital and institutions $54 billion a year. So this is something that we really need to solve. Then your solution. Describe it in detail. Spend a lot of time on this. You will have a minimally viable product to demo. Convince the judges why your solution is superior. Simplify your story. What are the 3 things you want the audience to remember? Speak to any regulations. For example, if you're a medical device, do you have to get FDA? Or speak to any barriers you may encounter. But have a plan. You don't need to know everything, but have a plan on how you would address it. Consider creating a grid that I will show you in the next slide. And let us know how your idea differs. And just before we do that, we want to review what a minimally viable product is. And as you can see here, the solution to the left is bare bones. That's not what we want. And we don't want something all the way to the right that's ready to go to market. We expect that you will have a minimally viable product that is workable, but still has room for improvement. The third H is head. How does this work? So we want to hear what your competition is. And this is the slide I spoke about, how you can show how your solution differs from the competition. Let us know what any significant inefficiencies and/or problems with the current solutions. Show how your solution differs and excels. Know who your competitors are, because you need to know this information. And although we don't require you to build an elaborate business plan, you ought to have an idea on who is going to pay for this. And scale. Do you begin with one population and then scale it across multiple populations? Do you start in a hospital setting as an example, then scale it to community centers? Or is your solution defined for a very niche patient population, which you should tell us about? And the last H is hope, and inspire me with your vision. And I would advocate that you have your team members' photos up here if you can, and a little bit about biographies on each and how they will contribute, their skill set will contribute to your solution. And you want to have a big close here. Why do you think this is a great idea? Remind us, the audience, what they have seen. Again, no more than 3 bullet points, but bring it home by wrapping up your story. Come full circle with your story. Have the audience be inspired when moving from what it is now to what it can be with your solution. Investors love teams. They really invest in the people. So introduce yourselves and backgrounds that contribute to the value of the solution. Now, a lot of people will say, well, I think you should introduce the team right from the very beginning. I differ with that, because if you don't have time and you end up needing to, you can compress this piece and just have your team biographies up on the slide, and that the judges can see through that. And of course, the most important thing is practice, practice, practice. If you are over the allotted time when you're practicing, go back and review and see what you can cut out. Prepare yourselves, not just your idea. Practice out loud. Make sure it transitions so the flow is easy to follow. As visual as possible and not too text heavy on your slides. Some additional pitch presentation tips. Divide and conquer the work throughout the weekend. For example, one of your team members should do the research while someone else is working on the pitch. Your best presenters should be the ones presenting, and we strongly, strongly recommend that it is only or no more than 2 presenters, because the transitions from one presenter to the next will eat up the time, and every second counts when you're presenting for 3 minutes. Know your information, meaning be prepared. to answer and anticipate any of the judges' questions. The next slide will tell you what to expect from the pitch. So you will present to a panel of 3 to 5 panelists. The panelist feedback is meant to provide a critical first assessment of your work and guide you through the next steps. Although we are not awarding Best Pitch Prototype Awards, as we want to encourage all the participants to continue their innovation journey. This will be the evaluation criteria that the judges and panelists will be evaluating you on. The potential impact on human health, innovativeness of the idea, completeness of the solution, and speed to market with rapid ability to scale. Templates and resources that you just saw me toggle through will all be available to you on the resource tab and in your panelist guide. Good luck and good pitching from Nurse Hack for Health organizers. Thank you.